This is the What Do You Know show hosted by Rio and my co-host Griff.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, Griff?
It's a good day. We got two beautiful guests with us today.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, ladies. Yeah, and it's actually a real pleasure to have you two on. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves, but I just have to say, Brianna took me up on the offer of just hitting me up because I just post on Instagram. You've heard it in my videos. I want to foster dialogue with people in our community just to get our perceptions broadened and expose our ideas and how unique individuals we are. So you want to start, Brianna, since you kind of got you guys in the show?
Absolutely. So I'm Brianna. Follow me on Instagram, Sweet Sky EEYYY. I went to school with these lovely fellers right here.
Mm-hmm. Addicts, baby.
Addicts.
Yes. Oh, I'm next, right? Okay. I'm Tony. We all went to school together. I don't really have an introduction for myself. Honestly,
cool.
I have
feel
nothing.
it. We'll get into it. So
yes.
we, like we said, all went to Addicts together, and I haven't seen y'all maybe 8, almost 10 years, something crazy like that. And it's beautiful. We can just sit down and talk. What's some of the things got going on in your life?
Well, I am a mother. I had my child at 16, so I've been a mom for quite some time. It's pretty much all I know. And really, not a lot. I'm definitely planning a big move to Georgia. I have this business going on with my cousin called Flourish by Flynn. It's a hair growth or just a hair stimulator serum. So that's what we're working on right now. And we're working on expanding. So moving to her to get a little closer with her and kind of network in another state to get, connected with the right people. Other than that, that's about it. So moving and a business is what I'm working on right now.
And that primarily, like, your target market is African-American women?
No, actually, we are targeting all ethnicities.
Okay. Because, like, I've heard it. I'm sure y'all have heard it before. Like, the hair product or hair care products in the Black community are usually not owned by people in the Black community. And I think it's a huge, like, push to kind of get the community wealth, like the dollars circulate in the community faster and better.
Absolutely.
So I've heard different entrepreneurs in our era trying to take on that charge. So that's really dope.
Which I get, but at the same time, it's like, yes, let's have these Black businesses, but we can target all ethnicities at the same time because we want the product to be effective, and it's only, not all products work for everyone. So it's like, we're open to any customer.
For sure.
We're just a Black business.
Yeah.
And
but just through studying merchandising in college, I know if you really want to get an effective sale going, it's best to get your target market really intact. So that's kind of why I asked. But trying to broaden your reach is definitely a great business strategy. And you, Tony, you got a show. What's the show? Tell me about it.
Talk with Tony.
Okay.
Yes. So we do a Vlad style, of course. So Vlad, you are familiar with Vlad, right?
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Of course. Behind the camera. I don't like being in the camera. So I only have, I think, 4 videos up. So I'm a teacher. Did y'all know that?
No.
She's an English teacher.
We're reintroducing everybody right now.
That's crazy, right? It doesn't seem like it would have been me, but I'm an English teacher at North Central. And
nice.
I interviewed my students. But I had some family members tell me that maybe I should take it down because it was just very explicit. But then Brianna watched it and didn't think it. So either way, I have 4 videos up. But now I have 3 videos up. But before it was 4. I took that one. I just put it on private. Yeah. I wasn't sure. I think I'm gonna have another teacher watch it and see what she thinks. But the way the world is set up now, you can talk about anything. So I don't know.
I think maybe your parents' concern was, I don't know, possibly that they're minors and
they were 3 Black gay students. And we were talking about coming out.
High school, right?
Ninth graders.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely with expressing like gender identity and you know all the sexual preferences that people have. It's definitely open for that dialogue in America, but maybe just because they were minors.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
But I
probably
sent
why.
out permission slips.
If the parents are okay with it, then it's all
Then
good.
yeah.
But they
think
haven't
it's
seen the
important,
video. I
though.
sent out.
I think it's
I
important.
thought it
Absolutely.
was super funny and it was educational at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but maybe if their parents watched it, I don't know how they would feel, but they signed the permission slip.
Maybe you
So-
can just send it to them.
Maybe you can censor it, and then it's still explicit.
There's nothing
But
to
it's nothing
censor.
to censor.
Oh,
It's just the
We're in my
topics of what they're
classroom
talking about.
after
Content.
school. Of
Okay.
course, they're not talking crazy, but
Okay.
I think it's because I think the older generation is so surprised at how freely you can talk about being gay that they're like, take that down. But I'm like, this is, they have a LGBTQ plus organization at the school. Like, that's a thing now.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just there. I just put it on private. Look, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't know. I would like to make it back public, but I don't know.
Well, you know,
Wait it
if
out.
that's the thing too, if that's the message that your students wanted to get out and you're helping to foster that, I totally in support of that, because that's what I want to do on this show too. So like I don't think I'm open to having kids on though, you know, people under 18. Are you, Griff?
It depends on who those kids are.
Kids have a lot to say.
They
If they're
do.
my
My
kids,
kids
if
have a
they're
lot
my
to say.
kids, then yeah, they can get on the show. If
Listen.
someone
Yeah.
else's kids, I ain't got no control
I'm
over
open
that.
to it.
I have her
Tony,
daughter. Yes,
Yep.
it's a
She
very good
interviewed
one.
my daughter, and we're gonna do another one soon. So
Her
watch
daughter's
out for
different.
that.
She's not like a normal 8. Is she 8?
She's
Or
7. She just turned 7.
She's like super mature. Not goo goo gaga baby.
Well, the kids are
but
growing
she's
up
still
so
a kid
fast
though. She's still
though.
a kid though.
Like I have 2 siblings. They're 8 and 6, and they can get on the iPad and the phone. They got games on your phone you never even heard of before. It's like, how did you do that? Like,
And YouTube is their best friend.
TikTok.
Yes,
Oh,
hold on.
TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know which one is number one.
Listen,
TikTok or YouTube?
She can't get on it. I can't. I'm done with it.
You
I'm
are?
over it. I'm over TikTok.
your 7-year-old has a phone, or she just goes
Well,
to
I
you?
did get her a phone, but I got her a phone for when she went over her like friend's house, so I could contact her rather than the parent. Cause I'm like,
So Wi-Fi
I
only?
think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Wi-Fi only.
Oh, okay.
But she doesn't get on it often. When she's with me, it's no phone.
If I had a kid now, I'd just get him one of those prepaid flip phones if they still make them. Like
You know, I
a
wanted
modern
to track
pager.
her. I wanted to track her.
Oh,
I
but it's
originally
only
got
Wi-Fi.
her.
It's only on Wi-Fi.
Well, it was on. I
Gotcha.
got it turned off because she had someone's number who had some crazy stuff going on with
Oh, Lord.
that line, so I got it turned off.
Yeah.
So it was like a fail all around. But like I had originally got her Apple Watch just so I could track her, but it didn't work how I needed it to work. So I got her the phone
Yeah.
so I could track her, and then that had to get turned off. So it was like, of course we kept the phone. It was only $100 iPhone. But
My thing was like when I had said earlier about why I wouldn't want a minor on is because they just don't know. They don't have a broader perspective of all the things that go on like around them, and they could get drafted into some weird stuff like that. And
right.
Maybe or even just be exposed to some weird stuff.
I agree with that.
And that's as far as being on
Yeah.
the show here.
Yeah. Our show, I wouldn't want it.
But I would counter that by saying, as an adolescent, you have a perspective that no other human
That's
being
why I was
has.
like,
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
have so much to say, and they see the world in a more innocent way, or in a way that it's supposed to be innocence, you know,
Yeah.
instead of reality, but how it's really should be. You know what I'm saying? And that's my kid.
Their stressors are different.
Absolutely.
Ours.
Absolutely.
I let them think that whatever they're stressed about is worth stressing about, even though it is. Because
they'll learn.
clearly not. But let them, you know. just
Let them be kids. I
Yes,
mean-
like
Be
let
kids.
their heartbreak be real heartbreak instead of telling them you wasn't gonna last or that wasn't gonna last. Like I let them feel like
Yeah. That's
you know, that was
important,
real
though.
love. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
important though, but you could also teach them after that
Exactly.
experience.
Exactly.
Like
It's a little bit of both.
sometimes this happens, but this is how, you know, some people move on. It's all about experiencing life and learning from others' experience.
And I
So,
think while you were just saying about how kids kind of have an idealistic view of the world, kind of like how it should be, but not how it is. It's just because, and this is, ignorant is a word that's thrown around. It's usually derogatory, but they're just ignorant of things that go on that they don't have any idea about.
They lack knowledge about it, and they haven't experienced it.
And that's like a blissful ignorance rather than like a derogatory type ignorant comment.
Yep.
So. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to touch on is like when we all grew up as kids, like kind of together, going to school and socializing, things of that nature. What do you like as you're reflecting now as young adults, as we all are just kind of going through these life experiences? You're about to go through the move business. You're teaching.
She's a whole teacher out here.
What the hell? What? Yeah, and I was just wanting to pose a question to you two, like. Versus where we were when we met versus where we are now, do you actively reflect on those times? Because I know when I get around people that I see from addicts, like I could run into them at the coffee shop, I'm like, oh, that's Michael Kiros or whoever, you know, like and then I automatically just want to spark up a conversation because I feel like there's just a level of familiarity. But we all changed so much.
Absolutely, we've evolved.
Yeah,
all while keeping who we are as a person. At least so. I haven't lost myself. I'm still the same Brianna from Addicts. I'm just a mom, and I'm trying to become better as a person and just, experience life how I want to and be in control of what I have going on.
I was just telling someone, like, a lot of, I don't know, like, high school was so important. Like, in our life. Like, everything, or I feel like who I am today has everything to do with being in high school. That's the only reason why I'm a teacher.
I have a quick question.
Because of inspiration from Miss Sullivan.
Oh, you read my mind. Because as soon as you said English teacher, I just instant flashback to Sullivan. Like, basically, I remember she held me back and she was like, you're smart, but you are so stupid. And I was like, I am? And she's like, you'll turn in those packets. You'll turn in an A packet, and then the next week you won't turn one in. Then you'll turn in an A, and you won't turn.
You used to miss them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I could never miss a Sullivan packet. Okay.
I got C's in my Sullivan classes.
So you're one of those. Yes. I know plenty of those.
Well, and like no teacher had the gall or like I think that she really believed in me as a person. And that's why she just is like, stay after. And I'm scared. I'm like nervous. I'm like, what do you need, Miss Sullivan? Like, yeah, you're stupid.
But she also was so straight up with you because I feel like she's black. And that's how many black people are. You don't know how to fake it. I don't know. That's my perspective.
I feel you.
That's how I feel. Like, and maybe... Oh, how else do you know how to be other than straight up if that's just who you are? But, and then obviously you knew she had good intentions when she was saying it.
Well, I knew she was true.
Right,
I knew I was acting stupid and doing stupid stuff.
Like, you can do way better.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single thing Sullivan ever said that was wrong.
No, I can't either.
I couldn't think of it.
I appreciate
she always
her
got
so much.
straight to the point with you, and it made you feel transparent. But at the same time, it was like, okay, don't mess with Sullivan.
No, nobody disrespected her.
One of the craziest things that she said to the class, it wasn't just to me, was she was saying poverty is more or less of a mindset. Because even if you don't have a lot, you can make your best effort to arrange your things, keep things neat and orderly, and then instead of acting like you're in poverty, you can be in poverty but act like you have class. And I was never heard.
My mom actually said something like that to me. She and my grandmother, she would say, just because you poor or don't got money doesn't mean you have to look like it or act like it.
Yeah.
And she would just say, keep yourself up, keep your appearance up. Even though you don't have it, you don't have to look like that.
No.
Yeah.
And you don't have to.
You don't have to overdo it
either. But you can just be clean. And
well, and the thing, the big point that I took away was she was saying, it's a mindset, because if you have the impoverished mindset, then it begets poverty. Because you're not, if you're impoverished in your mind, then you'll be impoverished in your life. But if you are in poverty as a circumstance and you have a mindset that's not in poverty, one day you won't be in it. And I thought that was like, that's something of the many things we've all taken away from Sullivan.
right.
But
That's good. I'm sure we all have a story about her. I knew you were her favorite, Aaron.
I don't think I was.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
So.
I remember one time
she had a couple.
Nobody has an A in my class.
Jordan
that was that favorite.
Yes,
he was her favorite. But you were one of them. You were in that group.
You were in the group. You were definitely.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say I lost sleep finishing Sullivan's work. So if I was a favorite, then I earned it. As the only class. I lost more sleep finishing Sullivan's work than I lost sleep doing some college work.
Wow, I never lost sleep in high school.
At 14.
I
said I never lost sleep in high school doing anybody's work.
But listen, I don't think I did either, because I don't know, high school, I was in my own world in high school. To be honest, I was in some type of fantasy world. I don't know where I was going, which is why I appreciate, crazily, getting pregnant at 16.
Really?
Khalees slowed me down. So crazy.
Who do you think you would have been?
To be honest, in my head, I would be a hobo, like just traveling. I would not have a home right now, because I would be traveling just with a book bag.
Like
country to country, state to state. I would not have a home.
Little Fires Everywhere. Has anybody seen that? Oh,
I haven't seen that.
Kerry Washington.
But yeah, I wouldn't have a home. But like, I don't know. That's about all I could say as far as high school. I just wasn't in reality. But I had a lot going on, like my parents divorced, and I was just able to do a lot of stuff, take advantage of the freedom, because my parents were divorcing. So they were a little more lenient and like focused on the structure got lost, and I took full advantage, which I wish I would have taken advantage another way than getting pregnant, but I appreciate getting pregnant.
Everything happens for a reason.
Tony, we are just vibing, aren't we?
What happened?
That's the second time you took something out of my mouth.
What did I say?
Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. But one thing I wanted to coattail off you, it's a little bit different, but it sounds just as crazy. I said this during the Anissa show, so I won't like go all the way in and on it again. But when my grandpa died in college, that was a huge eye opener for me, and I felt like I had lost the man in my life. Like, because my father was a hardworking guy, but then he had did some other things that didn't make me value my relationship as much. And then when my grandpa passed, I was able to go to he had like a stroke, and so he was still like around before he like passed away the weekend. I was able to take the Beeline bus back home real quick. And yeah, I was just telling him that, I'll be the man of the family. You can pass. I got this under control. And then I got back to IU that night. I just realized I had no idea what that would entail for me.
Right.
But I would have the shoes I'd have to step into. But yeah, like everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you presented with obstacles in life, and at the time it seems like, this is insurmountable. But when you reflect, like, wow, that made me a stronger, especially as young adults as we are, this just makes you stronger and provides you an opportunity to gain strength. Some people get knocked down though.
Some people get knocked down, but I feel like it's the individual and what they've experienced in their life, their upbringing, things that people they looked up to have said to them, have motivated them. And if they haven't motivated them, and some people get torn down as children. Some people are like, you know what, I'm gonna be better than you, and some people really believe it, and it's like, it's all about upbringing. And I think a lot has to do with upbringing in the main household and stability that they.
That's why I understand when you said your parents got divorced, because I grew up with parents too, and that was one of my fears. Like, if they got divorced, then that would be that's something for kids who grew up with two parents. Did y'all grow up with married parents?
Well, married, but then they divorced. Yeah.
When did they divorce?
I must have been second or third grade, something like that.
Okay, so early.
So I started like really getting raised into the divided house home, and that sucked.
What about you, Aaron?
My parents separated right around probably the same time that your parents were divorced, and so I think I clung to like doing audio and stuff. Like, that was me clinging to something, and not thinking about my. So like the reason I'm still doing a lot of this is because like Wilson kind of stepped in as like a father figure, older brother type dude, and I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but a lot of the stuff he did, I just did it because he did it. Like, I
definitely seen you hanging around.
And so
I forgot about him.
I benefited from having him around, but once he kind of went on about his way, I was in the same position. I had to figure out who I was, what I was doing, and so for me, I had just gotten to the habit of working, and that's just what I did after he stopped being my mentor. I just kept working.
Wow, so 3 of y'all, 3 out of 4 of us have had
that's about the statistics.
Experience divorce.
Yes, about the statistics of the
Wow,
American
that's
household
crazy.
today. Like, just single parent households or divorce households. That's a lot of unfortunate reality. And how I was thinking, like, how I'm gonna, because you were saying, like, when things happen to you as kids, you want to change it, or like it may make you better. I wanted to actually transition to relationships. So this is like really funny that happened like that. I have this view that if I'm gonna be a man, like, and be a good husband and a good father, then I have to prepare myself to do that. And that's why, like, I haven't been in a relationship in like 6 or 7 years. That's why I focus on getting a good job, good car, good house. Like, I finally got the house back last September, and I thought, like, now I have the building blocks that, and I've been trying to work on my ethics and my religion, like my Christianity, trying to get all the way secure in myself that when the time comes, I'm already ready, or when I finally become ready, then I can approach one and be like, listen, I'm a full package now. I'm,
So
you know,
you basically are working on building a solid foundation for yourself.
So basically, I think that a lot of people desire companionship in the relationship, in the marriage, but they don't have the big goal in mind of, well, I want the relationship and I want long-term companionship because it has the family involved and you can have your kids and the picket fence and the dogs and the cats.
The
and
American dream.
Typical
It's pretty much the American dream.
Yeah.
Everybody wants it.
But we don't
Everybody
know.
didn't have it to even know what they should even, where they should even start.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why.
I feel like
That's a lot.
I feel like I desire marriage because I've seen it.
Like a lot of people are like, F marriage, you know, I
don't feel
it's
that way.
It's just a piece of
even
paper, and I'm like, yeah, it's just a piece of paper. I could totally see myself just being with the guy for a long time, and then it's like I lived it. Like, it wasn't all bad. My dad was a great provider, and my mom played her role.
Yes.
It was pretty,
It's
things
very
happen,
convenient
but
when you have two people.
I can totally see myself married. I think I'm just watching my mom. I'm a wife. I'm wife material. Like, she's definitely set an example for that, and that's what I want for myself. I just want it to last. I want to have that forever.
Right. That's the scary part. But that's what everybody
That's
says.
the scary part. Like, I do not want a divorce at all.
So are you not dating at all?
Nope.
Wow. So
For years. Like, because basically, so freshman year, so my grandpa died sophomore year, but freshman year, it was like a completely different atmosphere, new environment. I'd never seen so many white people in my life before I got to IU. And I really felt dislocated from, and I was telling you off camera, this is why we started this show, is I really just had to take a step back and figure out who I was. I felt like who I was based on a lie that I was trying to, like, tell people just so they could expect me for that or whatever. And then, it was a state of isolation, and there are some crazy women at IU. I mean,
God.
colleges,
Really?
I guess, in general. Yeah.
they come from everywhere.
They do.
But I use a little bit notorious for the scene, I guess. So, yeah, I just isolated. And then when that happened with my grandfather, and then as I get closer to, graduating, getting into the adult world, I just realized that, and then I just really valued, like, manhood and what it does mean to a family and society. So, like, confidence was the first thing I had to build, confidence in my beliefs and my character, and then, the plan. And so I'm just executing the plan. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Because we're so, like, kids, like, we're kids basically still. We grew up, like, right before the internet really got popular, which is crazy to think about. But now, like, we're living the super fast, convenient lifestyle of, I gotta check my phone.
I hate it.
Someone called me, I gotta call them back. Like,
yes,
we move too fast without really taking a step back and thinking. So, yeah, I've really spent a lot of time just working on myself, and
That takes a lot of strength.
I mean,
As something that Rio likes to say, and he's been telling me this since college, is it's not something that's easy, it's simple. And so, like, it does take a lot of strength. It's a simple thing to do.
It's very simple.
And it's simple and easy are totally different things.
They
And
are.
once you experience that just a little bit, you start to appreciate simple things despite them not being easy. And you're often better for it. So
Yeah.
Maybe dating is more simple for you because usually men are the ones that are chasing. Period. And for
it's
us,
different. It's so
hard.
different.
So we're supposed
because
to reject every single person
women.
that comes our way.
And
See, if I was a man, it probably is easier. I'm just not going to talk to anybody.
I disagree. I disagree because
okay.
as a man, I think as a man, you have an urge to chase. It's kind of like the same way that women have to like reciprocate something or choose not to reciprocate. A man, you know, you just look around and you're just like, oh, like all the time. And so you either you have the urge and you have to resist that urge.
Yeah.
Right? Or I've talked to you about this a lot. Like, cause we went to school together. I told him all the time, I don't know how you're doing this. I have no idea. Cause like I can be alone for days at a time, but like again, like men want companionship. Like they want to spend time with women. They want to have a woman around to just do stuff with and spend time with. And I told him all the time, I was like, I don't know how you've been doing this for so long. I still really
know.
I'm about to
You
say
said 6 to 7 years, right?
Man, it's yeah, like easy. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Because I think a big thing too is the getting with a woman. That's one aspect of a relationship that you can have with a human being. Like I now realize that we don't value our friends like we really need to.
I totally value my friends.
Well, but okay, then if you think you really value your friends, then do you value like your neighbor? Do you value the person, like your coworkers or even your enemy? Like
I totally do.
Okay, that's fantastic. I'm glad you're there with me on that.
I do.
Because like that's how I'm getting like I read a lot of Stoic philosophy, and what that based Stoicism is like very neutral. There's like idealists and there are nihilists, and then there's like a Stoic kind of in the middle. And a lot of that philosophy just preaches, first of all, you make your own decisions, you have your autonomy, but then you can also like only control what you can control. And then third is that we're all human beings, so we can have love, you know, like a real love with one another. And then I think a big part of not dating Griff is the sex. Like that's what men
That's
really
what I was
miss
wondering
out
if I could
on.
bring up.
Yeah. Well, this is a totally open show, so
Okay.
yeah, don't even worry about
I didn't know
it.
if sex was a curse word.
No, sex is not.
I know it's not, but I didn't know if that
Sexual intercourse. No, yeah, no.
Coitus.
I mean, like especially like when we were in high school, like it's like a competition for guys to see like if they can how fast or you know,
girls
what,
too are in that
Easy,
stage
like
where
how
they're
easy.
trying to lose their virginity. Yes.
Are they? I've
Ooh.
never
And like yes.
Oh,
and
no.
had that conversation.
I think that before you lose your virginity, you are excited to tell your friends that you have went into some deeper sexuality with somebody.
Yeah, but it's never
You
been a
know what I'm saying?
competition though.
maybe
Or
not.
guys,
as a-
okay, not a
Guys are
competition.
in competitions,
Not a
but like it's
competition.
definitely something big to tell your friend.
But it's just
like,
the roles
oh,
have changed to
absolutely.
now we're trying to I don't know, be alone.
Yeah.
Are we trying to be alone? No.
I just want me at the stage of dating right now. Like I wouldn't say that I've experienced a lot of men because I'm not the type to just be out here dating. I don't date a lot. Yes, I have 2 kids, but like that just kind of happened like with the same guy. Like
Right, with the
it's
same
the
person.
same guy. I'm not. I'm obviously not out here dating. But like I think I should be a little bit more patient simply because I am that type of person that I should be just focusing on myself until that guy comes because I don't know.
Definitely.
I don't know. I'm just not a dater.
Yeah,
So, but I definitely want someone. Like I want a
Totally.
guy. I want a man.
Like I
in
don't
my
need
life.
a man, but I want
I
a
want
man.
a man in my life. Like I don't want
to
just
grow up
a
or not
friend.
grow up, but live life saying I can do this by myself.
I don't
No.
want that life. Like,
No.
yeah, it's okay. Okay, yeah, you can do it by yourself, but do you want to?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Like, what's the
enough-
fun in doing it
And
by
I
yourself?
think the
No.
benefit is having the ability to say I could do this by myself,
Exactly.
but I choose not to.
Exactly.
And that's the powers that you like. Yeah, you could be an independent woman for 50 years. You know, Mother Teresa never had sex. But once you have that level of like money, you got your financials together.
Right.
You got like your social circle together. You got a network. You got people you can depend on, and you have the power to tell a man like, I don't need you, but I want you in my life. That is power, and that creates a powerful dynamic with another person, and that's what it took me a long time to figure out, because I was on an on and off relationship with a woman in college, like the same one woman for 5 years.
Like, yeah, that's what's crazier to
That's
me.
why
we
you
were
said
just
that earlier.
we were just talking about.
I don't like on and off.
I can't do that. I'm not doing that.
And it was a cycle of, for a long time, it was a cycle of like just sex, right? And like every time we would split and get back together, like something would get better. Like one of those pieces would be added to the puzzle. And like right around the end of that 5 years, I thought it was a whole picture, right? But what I hadn't realized is that there were still pieces missing. And once, I mean, there was this huge thing that happened. And once I realized that it wasn't a whole picture, after 5 years of like really, really like almost committing to this woman, I was like, I can't do this. Like I'm at a point now where
What happened?
well, I had evolved. So like you,
Okay.
You know, this is,
you kinda
Okay,
like the
so
18
I mean that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you evolved. And
I mean, let me elaborate. It's not like I had just like changed all of a sudden, but like I had found the path to being a man. And once I saw that path and I realized that I was with somebody who wasn't like ready to be a woman, then I was
Gotcha.
just like, I can't wait any longer because I know what I want now. And you're not there. And I don't like,
And
as
what
much
if,
as,
what if she has evolved into the woman that she, I guess, needed to be? Can you see yourself getting back together?
no, that
She's
ship
got to
sailed.
keep her now.
That ship sailed because we were already together. And that
Got
was
you.
the
Oh, he
thing.
said he's got to keep her now. Oh, you're in
Oh,
a different,
Griff gotta keep
you're in a
her
different
now.
relationship.
Yes,
Okay.
that's true, but I mean,
Yes, that's true.
That is true. Oh God, that's gonna give me so much trouble.
no, this is a conversation.
What happened with me and the other woman was that we had already basically committed to each other all of those things, and basically she couldn't fulfill that promise, and that was sort of the incident that happened, that she showed that she had not been able to fulfill that, and I was like, well,
After multiple times?
I mean, we had already been on and off for 5 years.
Okay.
But like this particular incident was her showing me that she was not ready. And so like basically
5 years is a
we
long
entered this
time.
contract together, and she basically, as soon as we entered, she was like, no, I'm not ready. It's like, well, that's
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely understand
Taught
that.
you a lot.
Yeah.
Married, like I said, marriage, I'm taking it so serious.
Good. I mean,
I
you-
have to. I
it's-
don't want to get a divorce.
Well, it's probably the
It's
biggest.
so beautiful.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest thing that we do in our life is creating the family, having that long-lasting relationship, and then you build your house and your finances. It's literally the biggest thing you can do. So I want to make one quick point, and then I want to bring up a question. That was something else that for the 6-7 years I haven't been in relationships, I'm seeing all my homies, their relationships are...
You're learning from
They're
them.
going to hell in a handbasket.
And he had a wide dynamic of relationships to watch.
Wow.
Oh man,
That's very cool, though.
Family members too, like I would see their relationships just crash and burn. You're like, oh, it looks so good on the outside, and then it just they were two incompatible people, and that's kind of what it boils down to. So you have to make sure you have to spend your time wisely while you're young. And
So you haven't seen any successes?
there were two relationships that I had been watching, basically is a term, I guess, that I really was like, wow, if two young people in love, if this works out, like that's it. And they did just crash and burn. So
You know who's working out,
but they're
though?
too young though, huh?
Camry and
Eli?
I'm so proud of them.
Well, yes, they have been
They-
together
they've-
since
A long time.
a long time.
We don't know the details.
We don't, but I know they have a home together.
I say it's a success once people get married.
There you
So,
go. I love
it still
this.
is not a success to me yet.
So they
I love
okay.
it. I love it.
You're right. You're right.
Once you're married, like my sister, Cece and Rory, they moved to Arizona, and then that's my oldest sister. Do y'all remember her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally don't.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, she got married, so I'm like, okay, boom, it can happen.
Yeah.
Because it's so scary now, So when Cameron and Eli can get married, that's when I'll be like,
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. When they get married, then this is like.
I mean, but so
goals.
far it's so good.
So
I
far,
was about to say,
good.
so the pressure's on.
Right.
Prove it to us.
Yeah, prove it. You have to prove it.
Okay, so I wanted to ask y'all this. Let's start off with what is a man, and what are you like something that you're looking for, like the things that you're looking for in men that you like.
Are you sure?
You can start.
Okay, I have to be protected. That's like number one.
Okay.
A listener. I talk a lot. I've dated someone who talked a lot too, and it was horrible.
Because you're like
horrible.
Oh.
We were both cutting each other off. I need someone who can listen. I also need like an assistant, someone who can remind me of what I need, because I forget everything. Like my mind is it is very irritating if you don't know how to handle it. So
it's gonna be like really organized? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone who, I'm very late, so I need somebody who's on time. I need structure. I need structure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I need. That's what I feel like.
Okay.
I can agree with you. That's it.
Of course, there are plenty
it.
of
There are
other
more,
things.
but, right.
Yeah, but those are
Those
the
are the main
main.
ones.
I cannot date someone who do not have those qualities.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Gotcha.
So that's a man.
That's not a man, but that's what I need.
Okay, hold on. So just to be clear, what was the question?
Well, you actually, I wanted to get like what is a man, and then how it would be what you want.
Okay.
Oh my God, did I answer it completely wrong?
No,
you
said
did
what,
your
I
way.
thought you said, what do you want in a man?
Right, yeah.
What
Which
is a man
is-
is a different question.
what is
Okay,
a man?
answer the what's a man.
No, go ahead, Brianna.
No, you gotta finish.
Yeah,
Because
you
I wanna kind of.
What is a man?
What is a man?
I have to think on that.
Mm.
That's
Okay.
a really good question.
It is a good question. Which a protector, a provider, a man that's sure of himself, a man that's willing to compromise, a man that is a man.
I think it depends on the man you saw growing up. So
I'd agree.
Which a lot of times we
father-
look
I mean,
for
like,
our
I hear you.
dads.
That-
Which
that's so true.
we look for our dads, and
It's very
I
true.
feel like I did have a great man to look up to get in the future, but I also seen like what
Different
I didn't
ways.
want. I
Yeah.
also seen
Exactly.
exactly what I didn't want.
I still see
and
now what I
literally
don't
I've
want.
gotten nothing but my dad, and it's sickening because I don't want my daddy. I just want some parts of him.
he was a great father.
He was a good dad.
Okay.
You know,
But-
he wasn't perfect though.
The husband is different.
He's not
though.
a
Husband is different.
Husband
But he
is
wasn't-
different than dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
feel
mean,
that.
I take my dad over a man that sits on his butt all the time, and my dad know how to get up and
Yes. Okay. So let's
do what he
let's
needed
go
to
there.
do.
That's number one. A man
He
who knows how to
knew
work.
how to get up and get
Who knows
and
how to work and will naturally provide. And it
Hands
doesn't
on
even
natural.
matter. Does it matter? I don't know how people feel
About
about
what?
the woman making more money.
I think that's irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
I think it's
okay.
very. I think it's very relevant.
Okay.
Because
I
you
don't
know
think-
you
I-
could literally
I've never
like
experienced-
you could
Actually,
have just a great job and just be rolling in the cash, and it's nothing. You could still do your wifely duties. Like, I don't think that matters. Yeah, I would have to agree.
As
with
long
that.
as you're not a woman who makes more money than your husband and
And-
pays his bills, that's different.
That is very
That's different. I've seen a lot
Yep.
of relationships like that, and they're. I mean, honestly, they're toxic. They're toxic because
Yeah,
you
they are.
enable a man to not be a man.
Yeah.
If you provide for him, like that's. A man is a provider. If he's not providing something, then he's
has
not.
to provide
He's not
something.
really being a man. He's
Is
being
it
a
toxic
boy.
to live with them before marriage?
Yeah.
That's a generational thing.
I don't
It
think. I don't
is,
think
it
it
is.
is.
That's a great topic.
Yeah, I don't think you. I don't think you should have sex or live with somebody until you're at least on the precipice of marriage. I think you have to spend a long time getting to know somebody.
The precipice of marriage is
The
important.
precipice of
Yeah.
marriage. Well, sex consummates marriage.
I want
me.
to try it. I want to try that route.
Well, I think
very
that's
successful.
I think that's how it's going to work because, especially from the man's perspective, well, I guess it works both ways. That people put on fronts and they can do it for a while, and you got to go through some tribulations to see how a person, especially for me, like when I am looking at a woman, I got to know how she's going to respond to certain tough times or difficulties in her life personally, and then like how it would affect our relationship. If she's like the type of chick that was really great and cool, and then you start having sex, you get infatuated, but then when one thing happens in her life, and then she doesn't want to talk, and then she shuts down, and then she's
Yeah.
unresponsive, and
Yeah.
you can't. Like, but baby, I'm just trying to help, like, you know, but by that point you're already hooked, you know what I'm saying? So I was gonna disagree though. I think that the man has to be like a leader, provider, and confident, and he can't like for me, for instance, I don't think that a woman shouldn't work. I don't think that a woman should work if she like has to. I think as long as the man's got everything covered, I think the man should have everything covered. Then it's not like, well, you just like do the dishes and do the laundry. It's nothing toxic masculinity like that, but it's more like, well, now you have the freedom to maybe you want to get into writing poetry or doing art, and you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, if I don't meet my quota, then our bills are gonna go down.
Right.
Like, she needs to be able to believe in me as a leader, like, and like because I actually wanted to get into what is confidence versus arrogance, because I think a lot of men are arrogant and they don't have confidence. But I wanted to ask Griff, what is a man? Simply, because I just kind of gave a simple idea of what I think.
Well, to me, a man first, and this is, I don't know why this is the most important thing to me, but it is. A man is someone who can cry when the time demands it. And only reason I say this because, like, just men in general put up a front. And I think it's good to be a protector, a provider, to be strong, to be someone that your family looks up to, but you have to be able to be soft when the time demands it. And there's several trials and tribulations that happen in life where men, they don't allow themselves to be soft, and because they don't allow themselves to be soft, they don't show it's almost like showing your humanity to your family. Like, if those are the people that care about you, then you have to be able to be, that hard dude, like 90% of the time, but then that 10% when somebody they just need to see the man cry. And it doesn't, everybody doesn't have to see it.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
That's very interesting.
But
That's real. I'm over here, I'm thinking.
I actually have thought about that before. Like, crying just shows that you're human. That's about it.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean anything more or less.
With your girlfriend.
It means
Like,
nothing more or less. I appreciate
I've never
that
understood that.
vulnerability around me. Like,
Yes.
I want you to be that.
yeah.
Okay, but
If you
Vulnerability.
need to
That's
be.
that's
Please
a good
be
word.
vulnerable with me, because I'm the right person to do that with.
Exactly. Same.
If you don't
The
feel like
last
you can,
person to make fun of you.
Exactly. Like, I want to make it better.
Yeah.
What can I do at this
Right.
point?
And I know there's a lot of talk about men being sissies if they cry and all this talk.
That's kids.
And that's part of the
Talk.
front that men put up. A lot of men do it. I do it. Like, I won't cry. And it's like almost hardwired into my being. I can't cry at this point. I've just been trying not to do it for so
But
long.
doesn't that
Well,
start
then
at
that's
home
interesting
too, though?
that you say that, and that's your first quality for a man.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
are you a man?
Well, I have a godson, and so he doesn't really have a dad. Just being up front. And so a lot of the concern with him being raised the way he is, he's got a bunch of grandmas, a bunch of aunties, a few uncles. They're all worried about him being a sissy. And I tell them all the time, I was like, look, if he needs to cry, you let that boy cry, because he's going to be better for it in the end. Now, he'll get the water, the alligator tears every now and then. I was like, hey, shut that
It's
shit.
different.
Shut it up,
Okay.
because you don't mean that. And I think that's the important part, is
Right.
that a man knows when to cry. Like, he
Yes.
knows
Okay,
when it's real,
yes.
and that's
Okay.
when he shows
Because
up.
whining and crying are
two
totally
different-
different
oh,
things.
she
You
hates-
know, I don't
Yeah.
like whining.
She hates whining.
You're whining because
You can't get what you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, get out of here. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna deal with that. Bye. You
Right.
gotta go. I'm not dealing with that.
But that ability to be soft is important. And I don't cry, but
Yeah.
every now and then I get that one.
Right.
one
It's,
gangster
you know
tear.
that,
Like,
yeah.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I think
I
that's
cry
cool,
once
though.
a week.
Yeah, the best modifier for that statement you said was when the situation demands that a man
Yeah.
should cry. That's not like whenever something happens. Because to be real, like my biggest idea is that the woman has to have confidence in the man, and I don't just wholly agree with the fact that men should be vulnerable. I think that they should be humble, and I think they should be compassionate and empathetic. But vulnerable to me is not a quality that I look upon with masculinity, just because
Well, not like vulnerable,
like
but like
oh,
yeah,
I had such a tough
but
day
like
at work.
exactly, exactly.
Bosses
I don't want to hear. No, I don't want to hear
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, be comfortable enough to allow yourself to
Be open.
express
Be
yourself.
honest. Okay,
Express
honesty is a
yourself.
huge thing.
I'm
for
honest.
men.
Let me
and
take
honest
away
and open are
vulnerable.
not the same thing. I'm as
Yeah.
honest as it gets.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tell things that my girlfriend doesn't think I should say. She's just like, I can't, like, she'll
you
get
don't have a filter.
embarrassed. She'll get embarrassed with the things that I say.
So you
Oh,
don't have a
I
filter.
get embarrassed
or
by
maybe
some of
you
the things
just
you
don't
say.
keep,
No.
I don't know.
Brianna, you're very honest too.
Because what is there to lie about?
Well, everybody's not like that.
But there's a great quote by this comedian Patrice O'Neill. Rest in peace. He said that he hates the phrase brutally honest, because if you're lying, that's the brutality.
Right.
At least if you're
What is
honest with
brutally
me,
honest?
yeah. At least if you're being honest with me, I can't hate that. But
I
if you're brutally
I haven't
lying,
thought about that.
Oh, you can say
Yeah.
blunt.
But that, yeah.
Very blunt,
yeah.
I guess.
But brutal, I've
You
never
can
thought
be
about
blunt.
that. That makes
Comedians
total
are
sense.
comedians are perfect for
That
pointing out
makes
things we don't
total
think about.
sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
And
kind
it goes over your head for a minute, and then you have to think. Dave Chappelle does that all the time. I always have to think
Yeah.
and laugh when I'm watching him. I can't keep up.
Because there are those hack comics that just, talk about sex and just situational dirty stuff. But then the great ones always like, you're listening to the bit and you're laughing. You're like, oh my gosh, I was wearing a set of armor because I didn't want to talk about this issue. And he's up here talking, or she's talking about the issue. And it's like making me think like, oh God, this is a problem in society.
Yes.
And I am so insecure. I don't know how to talk about this.
Definitely.
But now here I am laughing about it. Like,
Yeah. That's how it usually goes. But yeah.
So yeah, I did want to, because I just was speaking about how confidence is probably my number one thing for manhood. Do you, in your guys' experience, or ladies' experience, is it more arrogance in young men today, or do you see confidence?
Oh my goodness, it's more arrogance, and that's just facts.
But I can see right through it. And that's the
it's
biggest turn
disgusting.
off.
Because it's corny.
It's super
corny.
corny. And most of the time, you're not even about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's just that.
And I was just talking about this. You don't know what I just experienced for you to be that arrogant. I just was, okay, I talked to a guy who has a nice car. Okay. So I was talking to another guy who thought he had a nice car. And he's talking about how fast he drives and all this. And I'm like, just stop. You don't know what I just experienced. Be quiet. His car was nothing compared to what I just saw. So stop. But he had no idea. And I had to say something. And I'm not brutally honest.
You're right.
I'm not like that. But I had to say something. I'm like, can you please stop talking about your
What kind of
car?
was that, out of curiosity?
I want to say, is a car a metaphor, or are we talking about a car?
No, we're talking about a real car.
An actual car.
No, Bria. You haven't dated in a long time. We say it now.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
No, we're talking about real vroom vroom car.
Okay, cool.
Fast cars. And yeah, so definitely arrogance is a big turnoff. It actually kind of, I don't know, it was kind of through after that. I just kept thinking about it. I was like, so lame.
It's lame. It's totally
I'm not sitting here
lame.
talking about, I really, really try not to brag about my success.
You're just humble, right?
Yeah,
You're just
I try
humble.
my best to be.
I'm definitely, I'm definitely humble. But what was your question in the beginning?
Oh, just about about
the
arrogance
arrogance.
and the men,
That's
young men
pretty much
today.
it. That's
You
pretty
said, do
much
we
it.
see a lot of it though?
Right.
What would you
I
say
think
is the ratio of arrogance to humble humble confidence
They're
that
definitely
you see
not.
from men?
That depends on how many men we've experienced.
And it does depend on and then our peers too.
That's what I was just saying. You could vicariously view men
Yeah.
and their arrogance.
Yeah,
It's
true,
different
true.
crowds too. We got to consider that because
I don't
it's a lot of
know.
arrogance out here, but it's also
So
a lot
70,
of.
30, 60, 40, 55, 45.
I think it depends on the crowd. Like
Gotcha.
it
That
depends
makes
on
a
the
lot
crowd.
of sense. Yeah.
Like the guys that I tend to attract are more arrogant than anything. But the guy that I need, that's not even the crowd that I attract, and it's just like sickening.
I really hate it. It really
Sickening.
it does. It makes me sick to my stomach. I hate it.
I've never gotten the guy that I actually should be with.
And it gets.
I don't
deep.
even attract.
Sorry, no.
I literally don't attract the guys that I should be with.
Right.
I attract
But
the
you
broken
know
ones.
that.
I
Do you
know.
think you could know a confident man when you saw him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a
Call
good
it
I'm
secure.
waiting.
I call it secure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like that word better than
Period.
confident.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yes.
super secure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you tell them
Yes.
something about maybe what somebody did at work, another man did at work, and how they react. Like, I like to say stuff on purpose just to see your reaction. Like, there should be just a little bit of jealousy, but it shouldn't be to the point where now the next day you're bringing up that situation
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
That's different. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
That makes sense.
I don't know why, Rio.
You had just talked about like security. I think that when anybody is arrogant, it's because they're insecure and they have a lot of problems that they're not addressing, and then they want to compensate in terms of the face of the public to be like, "Oh, look at my fast car,"
Yeah.
or they use
That makes
Jordans.
sense.
or like anything like that, and then they're like, deep down inside, though, they're just putting on a mask. That's why I have that mask there, because I think a lot of people just wear masks in public and they don't really think about like what their issues are. And I don't know if you guys, like you ladies, like meditate at all or like do some self-reflective thought. Is there anything that goes into your daily habits like that? Because I meditate like every day.
Yes. Do you want me to say something?
Yeah, for sure.
As like just the thought that I have when I self-reflect. Here's one. So I am a mom because that's my life. I feel like I should be more patient, and I know this. Is that what you're looking for?
Well, that's really key. Patience is a virtue for sure.
Patience, it's not there. It's not there.
So do you meditate daily?
I have been lacking a lot because I've had a lot going on. So it's like I've kind of lost my
Probably when you need to do
balance.
it most.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So I've lost balance of mine, but I consistently think about how I've lost my patience.
I think like when you have a dirty room, then it gets even harder to clean it because like, you know, if you keep something clean and when you move something, you put it right back, you know, you never have to worry about cleaning up the dirty room. And that's like because there are bouts where I won't meditate for a day or two at a time, and I start to see like it has that effect where then it gets even harder to get back into the rhythm. And then what I do though, I just ease back into it. Don't put, you know, because life is going to put so many external pressures on you. Don't have internal pressures on you. Like if you're concerned about your impatience or life is moving too fast, just set 10, 15 minutes aside. We all got 10, 15 minutes a day to set aside to something, whether that be reading a book or checking out like the news or something, meditating. We can always spend a little bit of time, and then when we start to do that more and more, we value it more and more, and the time we dedicate to it grows. And then when you do that, then you start to that time gets replaced. The time that you waste gets replaced by things that you're doing better for your health and wellness.
Yeah, and I'm also an overthinker, and I'm just not where I want to be.
I wonder if I'm overthinking or if that is the route I should be going. Should I be thinking about this, or am I getting too deep? And I don't think you overthink more than me.
I overthink.
I've brought situations to my life that never happened.
Yeah,
that's how much I'm overthinking, and it could be, you know, being under. Let me just. I don't know how to meditate because, I've never been diagnosed with ADD, but I'm pretty sure. I know that's such. Everybody says it. But that is me. Seriously, I never would have graduated college without taking medications, like Adderall.
Yeah.
Never. It did. It was the best for me. I didn't do it for fun. I did it to do my work. Really brought out the best of me. And so I don't take it anymore. But now I just could not see myself meditating because I cannot focus.
How good's your imagination?
Pretty big.
So here's like a simple exercise you may want to try. Because this is what I do. Because I think everybody's thoughts rage though. Because I think, you know, you have social media, you see a million different ideas all at once. You drive down the highway and there's 10, 15 billboards. Then you listen to a song and they're saying things. So thoughts are always in you just get poured with the thoughts. What I do is I try to visualize like a water droplet on a water. Just try to imagine the ripple, imagine the sound until I'm only focusing on that. And then once I've got there, then I'm like, okay, let's process this stuff that's buzzing in my head one by one. So I mean, like maybe try that. I feel like that's what just worked naturally for me. No, I just I had heard about the benefits of meditation.
Okay.
And how it's not something, you don't got to be like a Hindu monk to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like people in the city need meditation more than the monks do because they already have silence in their atmosphere. But it was just the idea of your thoughts really aren't your own. You get bombarded all day. And so, and then sometimes when you act in a situation and you're like, man, that was inappropriate what I did, or I could have did better, then meditation is all about like just taking those thoughts one by one and tackling your insecurities. So no one really taught me that technique.
Okay. It's just something.
Yeah, it just works for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, that's something you can just try. Well, I love showers too, so maybe that influenced it.
Yes, I love
Showers are the
showers
best.
too. But I don't remember the last time I took a shower without music, so I don't even
Right.
really have time to think in
Right.
the shower anymore.
Yeah.
It's all about we overstimulate, and it's not even because we want to. We just are
Definitely.
overstimulated.
It's very interesting that you said it because you always talk about meditation. I always think to myself, I don't meditate, but I very seldomly nowadays get overwhelmed with anything, and I think I spent a long time in high school meditating. Like I would meditate myself to sleep, but I have the same like hour and a half playlist that I play every night since I was like 13 years old. And so all of the visualizations and stuff I did as a kid, like it helped me sort of sort out my dreams. It helped me.
But that's called, you trained your mind as well.
Yeah.
And that music that you play,
Absolutely.
your brain knows what time it is when you play that.
Absolutely.
Your brain already knows,
And so,
hey, it's time to relax.
Now, when I get overwhelmed with anything, I take like 2 hours, and my brain just sort of does it on its own, and then I'll come to like some very level-headed solution. People get mad at me because of how level-headed I am about things, and I'll just come back to it, and I'll approach like, hey, this was wrong, this was wrong, this was wrong. I'm sorry about this, this, and this. How can we do this better? And people are always like,
Level-headed or nonchalant?
I can be nonchalant, but I think I'm more level-headed because it's always a scale. And people get really upset with me because I don't take sides because I can see both sides of most situations.
That's good.
But if I ever come at something wrong the first time, it doesn't take me
You are like
a
that.
long time to get
Very
back
neutral.
to, okay, this was neutral, and I'm sorry I wasn't, I was either left or right about this. This is where I should have been, and this is why I wasn't there. And then it's, back to
Right,
normal.
that's just who you are.
so
But
hard for
I
me to choose
definitely
sides.
get irritated with people who are nonchalant sometimes. And I know that that's just my own thing.
Yeah.
It's something about it. It just seems like you're coming off as if you don't care.
I can be super nonchalant, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the approach, is definitely when
it's like, come on, get rowdy or get something.
show
How can you
something.
just be here? Like, just emotionless.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe I do have a meditation because I do the same thing every night too. Before I go into the shower, I bring my speaker, and this is how I used to create the fashion shows. Do y'all remember that? The fashion show? Okay. So before I did that, I would put headphones in before I had a speaker at my parents' house, and I would just create them looking in the mirror, and I would turn the light off, and I would have some sort of light, small light. But I still do it now except with the speaker. And I do it for like an hour before I get into the shower. But I do that, I call it my zone. I always say I'm getting into my zone. Everybody I talk to knows what that is.
Okay, no, that makes
So
sense.
maybe-
No, you're doing it. You're doing it.
Guess so. I never thought about it being, but I do that every day.
And it's healthy for you, right? Exactly.
Yes.
It's a stable.
Sometimes I'm ready
stabilizes.
to leave work. Like I can't wait, especially when new music comes out.
Yeah.
That's when I read the lyrics and listen to the music at the same time. And then get in the shower and
That's
keep
cool.
the music playing, but it has to be like some old music or something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very
I
interesting.
didn't know that. Thanks for.
Yeah,
guess I just found that out.
But the thing is, like, it's music with lyrics though, because if you usually listen to a lot of instrumentals, right? That's what you were saying.
It's like
Ambient music.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I would say, just for a distinction, like it could be that you're not meditating, but distracting yourself from the other things. In other words, if you're focusing on the lyrics in the song and the song itself rather than just some background music, then it's not like tackling the issues. Basically, like you said, it's your zone. I
Okay.
like that because that's like a
Yeah.
perfect description. It's like you're
I know what you're saying.
in your bubble. You go into your bubble and you're not going to let the other shit happen. But, excuse me, first cuss word of the show. My bad. Host.
You did it.
I know. And we had like 5 minutes to go. But anyway, just
That makes sense.
Yeah, being careful about like if it's a distraction, because distractions could be healthy too. I mean, we all have our things that we like to do to just waste time.
Then you
For
step
instance,
back into reality.
yeah, I love watching nature, like documentaries and stuff like that. Where I don't
Okay.
feel like reading or like writing or something like that. I'll turn on a nature documentary and watch some hummingbirds suck, sip on a flower like that.
I'm sure you watch Tiger King.
No. I don't have Netflix.
Okay. Oh, you don't?
No. I don't have Apple Music. I don't have any of that stuff.
Or
I
special.
definitely have Apple Music.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I brought myself to pay for.
Dang. Okay. I see.
But I like to keep up with music.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any
Wow,
other anyway. They give me
You're really
notifications.
different.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot is positive about how I'm different.
Yes.
And I think a lot is like, I like Rio, but I can't like vibe with him on all that. So I appreciate that.
But that's who you let in, you know. But you seem very mentally healthy and stable.
Well, like when you hit me up, I was just like, yo, let's do a show. Like, I think a lot of people like our age are really pretentious too, along with the arrogance aspect. It's like, I'm too, my ego is too big. I want to protect it, and I don't want people to look at me a certain way. Like some of my friends have big egos, and I try to tell them about it. Like,
please tell me about myself.
Bubbles.
But I think I'm just so accepting, and I'm open-minded when it comes to people. Because though I went to, so like I said, I graduated a year early, and I did go to Ivy Tech, and I took psychology, and I really appreciated that class.
yeah.
So I've just taken those lessons and I've brought it into life. Also sociology.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I appreciate those classes. Like, it just helped me look at people and just accept them for who they are, and kind of just say, you had this happen to you, so I understand. It is what it is. You have to
Didn't
work
use my brain in high school. I started when I went to college.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No, that's where I learned it.
So I'm like, you lost sleep? What?
Yeah, I definitely didn't use my brain. But well, like we're in the last.
I was
2
thinking, like,
minutes
what do you
here.
think about college, though? Not, we don't
I
have to get
think-
all into it, but you know how
Yeah, yeah.
everybody thinks it's a scam. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think that, are you going to train your kids that they should go to college?
I think education is important. I think education is important. I think college definitely gives you an education on more than just like book stuff. Like there is a social aspect of college that I think is important. Like if you've never, like you said, we got to IU. I have never seen so many white people in my life, and I had to learn. I failed my first semester. I had to learn to deal with the culture shock of just being in a new place, new environment.
What school did you go to?
Went to IU.
Okay,
IU Bloomington.
okay.
And I mean, it took a life change for me to get back into it and get back to where I was. So like you said, like Sullivan's class was the only class I tried, and
Everybody.
I wasn't prepared for the amount of strain that college demands.
Right.
And I almost became a statistic because of that.
Bro,
I bet.
Griff was so close because you remember Elijah Pogues?
Yes.
We lived in the same dorm. Like we lived together we actually lived together all 4 years.
Wow.
But we lived in a dorm, and then Griff and our friend Rex, they lived in a dorm down the couple blocks. So I'd walk over there. It was right, and I was like, "Hey, Griff." You've been chilling here all day, like doing.
You went to class?
Did you
Was it
go
during
to
the week?
class? Like, yeah. And Griff would just be like, "Man, I'm gonna get it done. Don't even worry about it." And then I think, what was it, the winter break or was it the summer break where you just totally did the whole semester over again?
Well, I left school early because I wasn't going to class, so I just stopped. I stopped.
You withdrew? But not technically.
I got W's, luckily, and they just didn't count towards my GPA. But I basically left school early. And I had, my godson was born right around then. And so it was like spending time with him. I was like, all right, this is a boy who doesn't have a dad looking to me to be his example. And I almost dropped out of college. So after that, like I got my life together. I took that next year, I didn't have a day off.
I swear you need
year.
that. You need that though. I was on probation too.
Oh,
and
my
I
God.
definitely was, and I was in a bad relationship. Well, it wasn't a bad relationship, but it just was getting toxic.
Same.
And at the same time, my grades were failing. And so I said, you know what? I'm just about to quit school and I'm about to go to Indianapolis and be a server at Ruth's Chris, and I'll still make more money than. That was definitely my goal.
I didn't have a plan. And that's what was scary for me is that if I leave school, I literally don't know what I'm going to do.
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, I got to get this degree. I got to be this example for this like young man who doesn't have another man in his life.
Right.
And I have to like not be all the stuff I said I wasn't going to be, you know, trying to get through high school. Like my goal in high school was to get out of high school.
Right.
And so when I went to college, it was just like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Let's get this degree.
Did y'all graduate in 4 years?
Yep.
Yeah.
Griff. Yeah.
You got it together. You could have took a semester over. You could have had an extra semester.
Like I said, I took the spring semester and then I took classes over the summer. I worked that whole time.
Well, that's good. I think everybody has to go through one of those because I can't believe I was thinking like that. Like, what the freak?
Oh yeah. But I think education is important. I think college isn't for everybody.
That's right.
But you just have to have the chain of mind of what do you want, and if you don't know what you want, college can be good for you. It's kind of a coin toss, honestly.
I just think people should go for the experience. Even if you just go for a semester.
If you're going for the experience, though, let somebody else pay for the experience.
Exactly.
I was
That's
just
the only
gonna
thing.
say that. I was about to say get grants, get your scholarships.
Oh yeah.
Don't sleep on any opportunity to get it paid for.
Right.
My idea about college, it's really simple, as I talked about it earlier. Just a big opportunity for self-isolation and reflection and getting to know who I really was. And
Right.
then,
Freedom that you never had before.
yeah, like out of the house the first time, like living on my own.
Because my parents were definitely strict.
But it was just a really good opportunity, kind of just to get away from everything I was familiar with, and then familiarize myself. Yeah, so I mean, it was good, but I think college, like because one of your questions you said, is it a scam? The only thing about college that's a scam is if you're gonna go and be a scientist, why do you have to take gen ed courses?
Right.
I think that's the scam. I think
the
a lot
scam
of the
for sure.
degrees that are 4 years could very realistically be 2.
Absolutely.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe they want to make sure that you're in it. That you're in it for good before you get to those professors who are really teaching.
I'm that person that's like, I don't even know why we even need this.
Exactly.
That's me.
Everybody
and I get
be
so
thinking
frustrated.
They think that in high school. Why do what do we need to do? Pre-calc or calculus? And that's true. You don't do anything
We
with
spent
it.
4 years in high school that they could just be prepping people for college. Like
Yes.
two of the high
Or
school
for
years-
life, not even for college. Because
Anything.
we got to stop. Actually, you know they
Anything.
call English college prep now.
Do they?
Yes, that's what my class is called. 9 CP, 10 CP is college prep. It's not called English anymore. So.
What's the life prep class? Because I could have used
Right.
a
I guess that's the
on
class.
taxes
You know,
in
English
high
teachers.
school.
Absolutely learning about financial stuff like
That was
credit score,
econ.
like credit and
Right. Nobody taught us about credits. Your
absolutely
parents don't
not.
even tell you about credit sometimes. Shit,
my
I
mom
had to
just
learn
made
myself.
sure I knew it was important and to not mess it up.
Right. You know
I
not
got
to
a
mess.
credit card
Unless you
that's-
had those parents who then got something in your name.
Absolutely.
Lord, I feel
And
sorry.
that's sad.
I feel so
It's
sorry.
so sad.
I know.
My mom's one of those
Like,
parents.
how could you do
Got the
this to
light
your
bill.
child? Did you want it that bad? Whatever it was.
Oh, the
And
other
it could
way
be
around,
just a
sorry.
light bill.
Huh?
I said my mom's one of those parents, but it's the other way around. My little sister is working my mom to death.
She using her credit. Why is she letting her? Why is she allowing her to use that number?
I think
Even
that's
being
too
a
deep.
cosigner is too much. My
Yeah.
mama will not cosign for nothing.
Cosign.
In college, those apartments, like I don't know, you better find an apartment that don't need a cosigner because I'm not for a car, not for nothing. And I understand because I'm probably not doing it either
It's a
for
wrap
mine.
on that.
Not if you got good credit.
Well, sounds like we damn near have to do a part 2. Oh man.
Maybe I should
Second
come on
husband.
mine.
Oh, I would love to.
Wait, Tati, she should totally.
Yeah.
Is that what you were asking about?
Well, because I had texted Griff after we had done our relaunch with the Anissa video, and I was like, "Yeah, would you be open to going on other shows with me?" And he was like, "Well, it just depends on the show." I'm like, "Okay, Griff, touche." But yeah, if you're down, Griff, I would love to come.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
We'll slide through. But no, I didn't even know Tony had a show. So there's some other ones we have.
Y'all
some
should watch it and
opportunities.
see like what kind of thing it is.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
like I said, we'll
Link,
exchange
yeah.
links like right after this. But how can they find the show, and then how can they find you?
That's what
We're signing off here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're wrapping.
You can
it.
find it's literally Talk with Tony, TALK, and then W/TONE.
Okay.
Talk with Tone.
YouTube?
That's usually people say on YouTube. Yep.
Okay.
I have the same little what do you call it? Header? Is it a header for all of them? So I don't know. It's only I don't know what a lot of views is. I've never been popular, so
Yes, you have.
no,
Well,
I
you haven't been like popular, but people
popular
definitely know
addicts.
who you are.
Yeah, not as
Oh,
much
you
as
talking
you
about-
think though.
I don't know.
I don't know. When I went to college, I was
don't know.
low key.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I thought I was. I think I was.
Uh-oh. No.
They definitely knew my face, yes, but people don't know me. I don't
Yeah,
be
they
with
don't
everybody. I
know
have the
you.
same friends. I still don't have any new friends leaving college.
Yeah.
Yes, I do, but not really. You know, it's just like I don't know how to explain it.
Acquaintances.
Right.
So any Twitter or Instagram?
Nope, I'm not really on Twitter like that.
Tell us your Insta.
Instagram, I'm Miss Tracy. The students always say, "Why's your name? You so easy to find." Well, I'm private, so I have so many requests from kids. But it's literally Miss Tracy, MISSTRACY. Yep.
Well, my Instagram, like I said in the beginning, is Sweet Sky EEYYY. And as far as the business, we do have an Instagram page. It's Flourish by Flynn. It'll have the products on there. I believe right now we're sold out. With us being such a small business right now, we actually make the products, and we can only make so much. And you know, so we're trying to we're trying to catch up on the
after
orders.
The summer.
Yep, and the website's on the page, so you can just click the link in the bio.
Another thing, we got Driver's Seat once again back on the table. That's driverseatmbd.com. Definitely go and support them.
Shout out to K-Dog.
He'll be back soon. Any last thoughts there, Griff?
Do we know K-Dog?
It was a pleasure to have you both.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes. This is dope. I love it.
I love that we had our first conversation on
like
tape.
Yeah.
Like we just found out new things about each other.
And
It's
again,
very
like I was
interesting.
telling Brianna with the Anissa interview, I didn't know how much. I hadn't talked to Anissa in years. I didn't know how much we would agree, and you read my mind like 3 or 4 times on this show.
Right.
So, yeah, it was really fun. Maybe if y'all want to come back, just let us know.
I love talking.
Absolutely.
It's the right people here.
Nice.
We love talking. I try my best not to talk too much.
Well, yep. This has been another episode in the bag, Griff. This is the What Do You Know show. Always question, what do you know? Signing out.
Bye.
That was dope. I love it. Talk to you.